This great question was left on one of my other videos, but it's also something I get asked frequently by my customers. The problem is it's very difficult to provide a quick one-sentence answer due to the diversity of plants that are called succulents. Some naturally grow slow, only reaching a few centimeters, while others are vigorous growers that can get quite big. But I can break it down and generalize a bit, providing an answer that will cover the majority of these wonderful plants. So this may not be ideal for some succulents, but works pretty well for most of the 300 plus cultivars I grow in my nursery. In my personal opinion, I believe the ideal-ish pot size for the majority of succulents would be this one. The size is 13 by 13 centimeters or 5 by 5 inches and the volume is 2 liters or 0.5 gallon. It provides enough root space for decent growth, offset production and just generally healthy growth. There is a lot of ifs and buts though. This is an end-stage pot that you'd plant into when the succulent is already fairly big and has a developed root ball. Also, many succulents do not get very big and will not need this much space. Similarly, quite a few succulents will grow in even bigger pots as they have the ability to reach the size of a small tree. Having said that, they will happily grow in the 13 by 13 their whole life, with appropriate maintenance of course. You may need to either fertilize or replace some of the old potting mix for new every year or so to keep the plant looking nice and prevent leaf loss. The great thing about many succulents is that they will tolerate pots that are not necessarily the right size for them. And many people don't have much growing space, so the pots need to be on the smaller side, which is absolutely fine. You can have healthy, nice looking succulents that would normally grow big in small pots. They are, however, unlikely to grow much and may need a bit of extra TLC, but it's very possible. So you can decide based on your preferences and what you deem ideal. For instance, I have this little Graptopetalomendosii pot that I really like. If I put it in a bigger pot, it would grow much larger in size, producing a lot more rosettes. But I really like it in this particular pot and am going to keep it there. I just need to keep an eye and provide enough nutrients and good light so it doesn't start suffering from being root bound. If nutrients get too depleted, plants can start losing leaves as a result, especially in small pots like this. I usually pull the plant out of its pot, shake off the old potting mix and replace with new replanting into the same pot. You can also fertilize with slow release fertilizer tailored to succulent plants or blood and bone. I have a video on this already and I'll link it in the description and at the end of this video, but I'll just quickly summarize here as well. You can do this two ways. One is to use the 10% rule or just roughly estimate. The 10% rule is adding 10% to the current size of the succulent and choosing the pot based on that. For example, if you have a plant that is 10 centimeters or 4 inches across, the perfect pot size will roughly be 11 centimeters or 4.3 inches. This applies to the root ball as well. So if the roots are also about 10 centimeters deep, the ideal depth of the pot will be 11 centimeters. You don't have to be 100% precise, as in the real world it can be hard to find a pot that is exactly 10% of the diameter as well as the root ball. Personally, I just roughly estimate and choose a pot that is slightly bigger so the plant has room for growth. The reason for choosing a pot that is not huge is that the potting mix will deteriorate and lose nutrients well before the roots colonize the pot. If you put a tiny succulent into a huge pot, you're likely wasting good potting mix. For more info on this, you can go and watch the other video which has more in-depth analysis. And that is it for today. I hope this video was useful, and if you have anything to add or would like to ask a question, you can do so in the comments below. To learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to our website succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you so very much for watching.